Hello and welcome back to another episode of Stardew Valley Four Corners Farm with Nerdy Critics. Um, I also wanted to talk about Squid Game because I just finished Squid Games like yesterday, and I'm not as upset as I was yesterday. Um, but I'm still upset. I just feel like a lot of the things that happen in the game or didn't really have a point to them. And I don't really appreciate that. I much rather when shows have some type of reasoning for the character morals and like just in general for them not to do like pointless things, in my opinion. Um, but yeah, that it upset me. And I was talking to my partner, and they were like, we were like talking about how it could have been written differently. Can we control it? Um, but yeah, we were like going over how the show could have been different. And spoilers, but um I understand the concept of why Gihon uh, ends up sacrificing and why he ends up dying in the way he does, but to me, it's more of a pointless death. And not pointless, but like there's a lot of pointless death in this show. And I know it's supposed to show and signify like, oh, um, the two sides of the coin. Is there a bigger reason for things? Are people good? Are they just horses in a race, right? But I feel like it would have been interesting to see um if it like we were talking about like how it could have happened, like how the ending could have changed, and I was basically like, I don't think that the mother, um, what's her name? I'm terrible with names, so this is gonna be a struggle. But the mom, the pregnant one. I know it's not Sebyuk. I keep on thinking Sebyuk, but Sebyuk was in season 1. Uh, I don't think that she should have necessarily died. I think that it could have been a really interesting story. Oh, kind of like that name, so I'm gonna keep it. It's my void chicken. I think her name's Junie. Junie. I feel like they could have kept her alive, and I think that they could have kept the transgender girl around. I can't remember names. I can't. Um, but I really like those two characters. I think that their death was kind of pointless. I feel like there would have had more meaning if the story went about it a little bit differently. I think the change should have happened um in the hide and seek game. I don't think that the transgender girl nor um I don't think the transgender girl should have died in that episode. I think she should have made it to the end. Um and I think Yihun should have died in that episode. And the reason I think that is because I completely forgot my stuff and my rambling. Um, Gihan, there's a change in him during that episode. Like he of course like afterwards goes on to save the baby and stuff, and he does the like final sacrifice, which is great. But I think it would have been more shocking and more powerful if if he had actually uh finished off the gunman like he does, and then he kind of sits there and is like in regret because he didn't actually want to do that. He's not a fan of hurting anyone. He's very much in a time in the mindset of like life is precious. We can't just like go around hurting each other like the game make you do. So there is some regret to when he takes revenge, and there's a difference in that kill versus other ones throughout the show. He in the other parts of the show, he's more trying to find some type of justice, find some type of meaning to the previous deaths and things along that nature. But in going after that one guy, it's more out of, let me see, some jelly and bug touch. Okay. He goes and it's a situation of revenge, and that to me is a better overall story than um I think we already went through this. It's a better story than what it ends up being, because he he kills out of revenge, and I think, oh shoot, his stuff's gone. I hope it comes back. And if not, I'm gonna be so upset because I had so many items in there. Because I kind of think that that's not gonna come back. So that was 3 crab pots and a bunch of other stuff. It's upsetting. He tells, he is about to off himself. Cutscene. Oh, that feels good. In winter? Bro, it's cold. But if Gihan kills himself there, or if he even survives till the next round and just ends up helping our 3 ladies and the baby, I think that would have been a better story overall, because then you have it, like the transgender lady, her death was purely for shock value. There was no story elements to it. Like, we already know that uh the baby daddy isn't a good person. So the only thing that we're told by him killing her is that it's like, oh, now we really can't forgive you. But he was already purely killing people so that he would get more money. I think if it went along the lines of the same thing happens, aside from when she goes back to find the two of them, they see that he's killing other people, and they're hiding in the room knowing that he was supposed to come for the mom, and and like be there for his pregnant lady and their child, and he decided, nah, I'm just gonna kill a bunch of people just for the funsies, you know. And um then the son comes in, and he's panicked. He's like, I'ma die. I don't know what else to do. Mom, help me. And he sees that the girl had the baby. So he's kind of like, oh, there's got to be something else that I could do, like kill this one or kill that one. And obviously neither of them are really up for any of the three of them dying, aside from the mom. The older mom is much more like willing to sacrifice for her son. But like the son doesn't want to kill his mom. The mom doesn't want the other two girls dying, or the baby. And so he ends up dying in the same way, essentially. So the mom defends the girls, and he dies, which, you know, has her all types of mixed up. Gihan is upset with himself, upset that he let this like situation get the better of him, and he's kind of at the state of like trying to kill himself, and we know that the older mom is kind of in the same situation, right? So let's say that the one who kind of snaps them both out of it is actually the transgender girl, because, you know, she's gone through a lot of things, and it's more of a situation of like, no, we all need to band together to help keep this baby alive, right? And so then in Jump Rope, instead of it just being Yihon, all of them are there, and they end up being able to not only get the baby across, but get Junie across as well. And they do this by, oops, I'm gonna lose this. we can say that she kind of does this. I went for the chest. Um, we can say that she does this. That she doesn't want to take the help, but they're kind of like, no, we can get you across. With all of the, with having Gihon there and the transgender girl, they can each kind of go sideways. You know how you play jump rope, where you're kind of facing the direction where the rope is coming from? I feel like if they all linked arms and they're jumping sideways, they'd be able to have Junie in the middle of the two of them and kind of carry her across, because they're much stronger and able to actually lift Junie. And the like older woman takes a baby across. So then on the bridge there could be a bigger overall fight or conflict with certain people trying to gatekeep others crossing the bridge, like that one guy was. Um, and in order to get the others across the bridge, this is instead when Yihon has his sacrifice, because at this point he's already on it, like he broke his moral ground. He took revenge. Um, and even though he's helped them, he finds that the best way to help them now is to sacrifice for the baby and the other women, which he does. And it shows an overall better conclusion to Gihon's story, in my opinion. Because instead of it being about instead of it being about it coming around and showing a little bit more of the frontman's like take on things and stuff, it's more about Gihon still being able to make that sacrifice despite um the other things going around. Um, I think overall that makes a better story to show us that it's not black and white. So if Gihan ends up getting finished off during jump rope in a sacrifice to save the women, um, but now Junie and the baby are both alive and well. They know that something's going on with baby daddy, that he's not really one to be trusted. And we see that obviously the mom's still struggling with the fact that she had to get in the way of her son and sacrifice for Junie and for the transgender woman to be okay. Like, she's obviously going to struggle with that because that was her son, that was her baby. It's never going to be like, oh yeah, I was just taking the moral high ground, I was just trying to help these women. Like, she's always gonna be like, but that was my son. Because she did not want that to happen. She was literally only in the games because she wanted to help her son, and then her son ends up dying because of her. So then in the last game, whether they see the dad do some shady stuff or not, they know that he didn't show up. And besides the fact that he didn't show up, um, just blobfish now. There's this bigger overall conflict of like Gihon already made this sacrifice for them. Uh, and now it is the baby, the transgender girl, the older mom, and the mom of the baby against probably the crooked man, the baby daddy, the one on drugs, the one who wasn't originally with that, and then he started taking them. Um, and then probably the one who like was fighting with them, but not with them. That was like clearly one of the more beefier, stronger guys. and the other one who became kind of like they called him the lunchbox at the end. Um, if it was those five guys who decided to team up, they're like, oh, look at these weaker women. Uh, the votes still go, everyone still votes the same way. So that's how they kind of confirm, like, wow, the baby daddy really does not give a shit about his kid because they could have ended the game there with the older woman, the transgender girl, and the Junie with the baby daddy's vote and the druggies vote. With the five of them, they could have ended the game, but the baby daddy ends up voting to keep the games going, and he does this because they're kind of told what but also, in case you didn't hear me earlier, this is just my thought lines of like what could have happened. This is not what happened in the show. um so he could have done all that. Now we have a situation where the baby daddy is kind of at fault for whoever dies next, right? Um, we have the last game, and how I would think in this situation how the last game would go is that we we have the nine people that I said, and the baby daddy's like, nah, this is a good thing because we get to choose who lives, or we get to choose who's gonna win and stuff. So it's fine. We're not going to have a situation where we're in any danger because we're actually the majority, right? He tries to sell it like that, obviously. They're like, no, this is bad. We should have ended the games. The first podium happens the same way, and they get that guy off the podium, right? Then in the second round, um, they're trying to push one of the girls off, and the baby daddy finally takes their side and pushes one of the other guys off, like he does with Gihon. And then it could be a situation of the full brawl kind of, so it's still following the same story beats. And so then when they get to the last platform, the only ones there are the baby daddy, and our 3 women and the baby, right? Why this creates a bigger conflict is that obviously the baby daddy isn't the best person, and it could end up being a situation where he's kind of like threatening the girls and being like, oh nah, that's my kid. My kid's obviously going to need their dad growing up, and yada yada. And the 2 ladies, they're the older woman and the transgender lady. They're like kind of taken aback by that, right? Junie confirms it, but she's also like, on the fence, because on one hand, this is the baby daddy, but like he isn't a good person. He killed their one friend earlier on in the game, and he continued the game despite knowing that like there was always a risk of his child and Junie dying during this portion of the games. And what he really cares about is himself. So they start talking about that. They're like, well, if this was really about Junie and the baby, why haven't you been helping her this entire time? And it starts getting into more of a fist fight, and now the transgender woman and him are fighting to who's gonna live, right? But in all the commotion, they don't realize that they didn't press the button. And they're on the last podium, so second round happens pretty much the same, and all the main characters are mainly left to be like, oh, who's gonna live, who's gonna die. The baby daddy is like, still trying to fight them, still trying to have that moral high ground and stuff, and he ends up dying pretty much the same way, but this time to the transgender woman instead of Gihan. But since they didn't press the button, now it's just the 3 women and the baby, and they're kind of looking at each other, and the game runners are like, oh, well, now they have to kill the mom because mom is the weakest one there, or maybe the transgender woman will just like take them all out and take the money for herself. And that's what the game runners are kind of thinking. They're like, why would anyone in this situation not take the advantage that they have over the others? But the more empathetic and the more uh emotionally driven reasoning is just like, this is not how you would want to go about doing certain things, right? And for this cutscene, the boy looks away with you, looks at you with curious eyes. He seems to have a close bond with the parrots, but he's too shy to approach you right now. Perhaps making friends with the parrot could earn his trust. But yeah, if we were more looking at the fact that they're there, they're all emotional, they don't want anyone to die there, but the older woman already coming to terms with the fact that, like, she did not want to be alive at this point, um because of what happened with her son, but she was pushing forward for um the baby. And so the older woman ends up making that sacrifice, and she's the reason why the other two girls end up living. I did not bring a slingshot with me or any weapons. How much was this one? So, in my version of the story, you then have it where there were three survivors, which to me shows a better imaging of like, oh, it's not about um who's the strongest. It's about more nuances than that. Um and to me that's more important in storytelling than um um I do think that in general the story it is fine how it is. It just upset me that there's so many times where like there isn't really a reason for what happened. It just happens for shock value or whatever else. Because my main gripes with the actual show is when certain characters who like just get off for seemingly no reason except the fact that the showrunners wanted to be like shocking the audience, like when they did with Sebyuk and with the transgender girl this season. And I don't like that the mom, the like my ship is lost, shattered by a tempest in the unforgivable seas. I find myself stranded now on these strange shores. My crew has perished, but I still live. Perhaps Lady Luck has blessed these wicked bones of mine, or her own designs, or has her own designs for my fate. At any rate, I have no choice but to make a life for myself here. There's fresh water in abundance, food to forage, and fertilized soil to work. First, I'll build a shelter. There are some pages missing. But yeah, when he especially gets killed off, I mean, when those two especially get killed off, I I was pretty upset by that, and I think a lot of people were. Okay, I was just trying to figure out some of the walnut locations because I've said this before, but I'm not someone who plays a lot of the Ginger Island portions of the game. I replay the community center a lot. So, um this part of the game I'm not as familiar with, and I will mess up a lot. Not to do that yet. I'm definitely going to need more items in general. Need to forget and not forget to put some other stuff inside of the barrows. Okay. to Stardew. I'm going to try and finish that request for the mine. And gather ore. Yeah. As well as get the slingshot from here. So let's first go to some of these lower levels. I forgot a weapon. Hmm. Nice one. Two, three. I think monsters respawn. I know there's like a thing of like, oh, if you let them turn into like the flying bugs, you have more of a chance of getting bug meat, which is the point of this whole challenge. But I will go about it the old-fashioned way. I wish I had some monster musk though. That could probably help. what do we got? 13. Let's go down to level 40 real quick. Doesn't look like there's gonna be any iron over here. Okay, at least there's 2 over here. There's 9 more. So, greetings, Sarah. Have you found my secret in the dark tunnel? I look forward to meeting you. Yes, we did. It's a page from Mr. Jasper's book. The creatures, known by some as forest spirits or junimos, are said to appear in abandoned buildings after they've gone to seed. As a general rule, when humans leave and nature begins to reclaim her territory, the junimo will undoubtedly appear. Folk wisdom holds that the junimos display some kind of resonant affinity with gemstones that are placed inside their little huts. Also, it's said that raisins are their favorite food, but they are too shy to take them directly from the hand. Of course, all these claims are from dubious, unverified sources, as far as I know. Even existent, the mere existence of these creatures have never been proven. Well, we do know that they do exist. Let's go to town. Ancient farming secrets, line 37. There are no better helpers than a raisin-fed Junimore. Let's see if they are in the saloon. People in here, but not who we were looking for, so. Let's check this out. Forget what we're supposed to do during that. Let's see, did he go to the bar now? Hmm. I think that we're gonna take out the diamond for now and just have two jades going. Year 1 is almost complete. Dear Sarah, I would like to give you some information about an upcoming festival event, the Feast of the Winter Stars. It's a time for the community to come together and think back on all the good fortune we've had this year. Favorite tradition is the secret gift exchange, where everyone in town is randomly assigned to someone else. On the day of the festival, everyone brings a gift for their secret friend and surprises them with something special. This year, your secret friend is Pierre. Don't tell anyone. The feast will take place on the 25th from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the town square. See you then, Mayor Lewis. Not my favorite person. I would have liked many other people over Pierre, but that is okay. Oh, I forgot to leave some of them empty for like other stuff. I was just trying to see if you have like 4 pieces and a different quality one, what happens? I guess since these are poisonous, they don't let you use them. Still think it's strange. We have avoided exploit meaning. I really need to get rid of a lot of the grass over there. What Pierre like? I also need to come over here and defeat that thing. I completely forget so many things. And I believe there's bugs in here. I don't know if we got any bug meat off them though. Oh, okay, good. Healthy soup is bad either. I don't think it has any buffs, so it's just like free food. Aw, man. Whoop. Let's go to Ginger Island. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do some of the other stuff I wanted to do. Yay! They survived. I was very nervous that all my stuff would be gone. Alright, look at all this stuff. Do need a chest. I'll just have to make one when I am over at Ginger Island. Why'd I take 5? Oh, I gotta put 100 bug meat in there. I didn't realize. It's raining. Have that unlocked, the area unlocked. I need some rocks. I took this one, right? Okay. I think I need to come earlier in the day. Or no, I need to come with a bomb. And I don't have a watering can to do this. Ugh, I did not prepare. Feel like I should start this day over, but I'm not going to. feel like there's a way to maneuver over here, but I forget how. Oh, I do have two. And also, yeah. Okay. And away from the rock. I don't know if I'm gonna make it. Mm. Yeah, so I think that he can even tell I'm like so out of depth when it comes to what to do. In um Stardew Valley. It like when it comes to this point in Stardew Valley, I'm like so lost. I think I have enough for one more batch of forageables, and then that's it for the year. really need to make some progress on those uh, bugs. Okay. Hey, this ready? I definitely need my more pigs. I need to upgrade my chicken coop. That should be also getting my fishing levels up. need to put some of the stuff that it smelts. Definitely want some hops. I thought I had coffee seeds somewhere. I saw them in that box. Good coffee. And then honey as well. That's what I want to do. Want to organize the chest. Okay, so we're gonna need that. Get that in. Get that in. Need to grab some rocks and then head back out to Ginger Island. Between that and going to the mines again, because definitely need more stuff. I think that's what I might do. Okay, so I'm gonna leave my Ginger Island stuff in this chest. This, this, this. Or actually, let's just get a The chest that we made for Ginger Island ready to go. Okay. I think our fiber is building back up. We have 31 pieces. Yeah, so we got a lot to do. Okay. We've gotten decent stuff. Let's see. My dear grandchild, by the time you find this note, I expect you'll have been living in the valley for quite some time. I hope things are going well. I'm honored that you continued the family tradition of farming, and through that noble endeavor, bringing greater life and abundance to all of Stardew Valley, a place very dear to my heart. Keep up the good work. Grandpa, P.S. I've hidden a very special secret for you somewhere in the valley. You might think of it as a condominium of my greatest achievements, greatest discoveries. Someday, when you're ready, you'll find it. See how we are doing. Almost 50% there. It's not great, but it's not bad either. I'm also just collecting a bunch of stone because I know I'm gonna need them. I'm glad that we found quite a bit of quartz as well to give us more bombs. That last level made me feel a little bit better about where we currently are in the quest. Although I do want to go back to Ginger Island. Oh, I finally got an ancient seed, yes. There's a couple of things that in my personal playthroughs I usually get so quickly that I haven't. The page from Abigail's diary. Things I love. The smell of carved pumpkins. Keeping an amethyst under my pillow. Chocolate cake. The thrill of spicy eel. And the comfort of mom's blackberry cobbler. I like to eat. It's written in Leah's handwriting. My idea of a perfect dinner would be salad, goat cheese, truffle, and wine. For dessert, I'd need a poppy seed muffin. Yum. If someone gave me one of those things, I'd melt. Ay, ay, ay. We need to sell one of these each, I believe. Let's see. This can be donated to the museum. This obviously can be donated to the museum. This needs to be cracked open. Hmm. We'll take one of this and one of this for wet, and then there's one for these as well. And then let's put this away. Okay. Okay. My cat gave me fish. See. Let's see. Let's put a bunch of grapes in there. We can make so many kegs that I have not made yet. Finally, we have upgraded in our fishing. So let's see how our skills are doing. We just need one for each. Excited about that. Our meat is done. We're gonna sell this. None of these are making anything. Okay, hold on. Okay. I don't know if I have that one yet. Okay. And then he wanted this. Well, I now have an ancient seed recipe and the ancient seed, so we can just go plop this into my stuff. I'll actually wait till after we get out of the mines. Because we got another like 50 bug meat to collect. I'm also thinking about ending this playthrough today because I've got a couple of things going on today. So I'm probably gonna have to do a little early. I wonder how much bombs we're gonna be at the end of getting all of our bug meat. And then how much are we actually at? 71, so less than 32. Going through these levels has allowed the stuff to recenter, so we should be good for going on to the other levels. Ooh, perfect. I don't think that going down to the next level will really help all that much, but we'll just go be the 15. Nothing here. How much did that get us? About 10 more. So we still need about 20. Feel like I'm getting better chances on levels aren't elevators, so just gonna go through them real quick. Really help me in my combat, so which is one of the two that I need to upgrade. Dang. I have no inventory space, so I'm gonna leave, talk to the dwarf real quick, because I'm gonna give him this. Let's see. Stardew Balloon Special. I think this is just like some of the things that they really like. And Alex likes protein, which is why giving him eggs is a great idea. Just look at the bug count on me. Didn't mean to go there. Almost got all 100 on me. Let's just go. I think I'll probably have to come back tomorrow one more time. Before being done with this quest. I'm just gonna go one more time. With as many bug meats that we have on us, I would have figured we'd be long done. But unfortunately, I guess I've just like been carrying most of them. So gotta go now. What do I have in here? I guess I can go back that. Stop. Okay, and as I said, level 9 fishing. This is shrimp. It doesn't even matter. I'm gonna leave it at that. But we are 2 bug meets away, so yeah, we're definitely gonna meet our goal. But that will have to be in the next episode, because I'm gonna leave it there for now.